Hello and welcome to my creative space. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Welcome to another DIY video. If you're not already, I would love for you to subscribe and join this creative squad. In today's video, I am back with some Kirkland dupes. I'm so excited because this is one of my favorite sections in my channel. And if you're interested, then let's get started. For this project, I'm going to take 3 wooden pieces that measure the exact same thing. I'm also going to need some black paint, some stain, and also I use my Cricut machine and vinyl to cut these drawings. You can barely see them, sorry. But anyway, we're gonna move on. I'm going to take some tape and I'm going to find the middle of these planks. Now these wooden pieces, I already had them and they were already stained like that. But Dollar Tree does sell wooden planks now. So all you have to do is pick 3 of them, and then the stained color will be in my description box. Sorry, it's similar to this color. But yeah, these ones were already like that. So half of the job was already done for me, thank God. Okay, now that you have the tape on them, I'm going to take my black paint, which is from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to start painting downwards. Don't go up because the paint will go under the tape, especially if you're using tape like me, which is not supposed to be like painter's tape. I haven't tested painter's tape, but I'm sure it works better than this one. This one was kind of moving around, but it worked. It did the job. So I was good. But anyway, okay, as you can see, I painted half of it. Don't forget the edges, because once you hang these, you will be able to tell if they're painted or not. So be sure to paint both sides and the bottom. And then once that is done, we're going to put them to the side to let them dry, and I will make you watch me paint the other 2. So I will be doing that off camera. And yeah, that is all for this part. Now let's jump to the next step. Okay, here are my 3 wooden planks. Now I'm gonna remove the tape, and as you can see, it definitely did the job. You know, just do as I say, paint downwards, don't ever go up, especially if you're using this kind of tape. Okay, here are my stencils that I cut with my Cricut machine. It's a spoon, a knife, and a fork. So these ones were big enough for me to use as stickers, so I didn't do any of the transfer paper. So I just took one by one and started putting them on there. Try to center them the best as you can. And I apologize for my missing nail. I swear every time I go to record, like, one of my nails came off. I promise I don't do that on purpose, but you know, it is what it is. But anyway, as you can see, these are technically done. All you have to do now is just add hangers to the back, which I will be using these metal ones. These ones, I removed them from other frames that I had from Dollar Tree, but Dollar Tree does sell a little box with some of these and screws and nails. So if you can find it, pick it up and you'll be good to go. And that is all for this project. Now let's take a look at Kirkland's wall decor piece. These are 3 pieces for $63.74. Now let's take a look at mine. Mine was very inexpensive. I literally didn't have to spend any money because I already had these pieces. Might be your case, but if you don't, you can easily recreate it with less than $10 probably. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you think about this dupe. For the next dupe, I'm going to use 2 of these wooden planks from Dollar Tree, as well as 4 of these longer ones. All of this is going to be from Dollar Tree. I'm also going to use some of these wooden cubes and these little pearl stickers, as well as some twine. I'm also going to use some white, brown, and a tiny bit of black paint. And then if you want to, you can use wood glue. And I almost forgot, but I'm also going to use this little box from Dollar Tree. All right, now let's get started. And I'm gonna take the 2 square wooden planks, and I'm going to remove the stickers off the back of all of these because we don't need them. And then once that is done, I'm taking one of the wooden planks, and then just make sure that both of these squares are the same size, and you'll see why here in a little bit. But I'm gonna take one of the longer wooden pieces, and I'm going to start gluing them into place. Now as you can see, I'm gluing them in a diagonal way, not straight or on the side, because that's how the one from Kirkland's is. So I'm gonna use some hot glue, but feel free to use wood glue or both. Now the top piece, as you can see, it doesn't fit like the same as the one at the bottom. So this is why I was saying make sure that both of them measure the same, which they're supposed to, but you know, they're not cut like exactly the same. But anyway, so I'm gonna use some some hot glue, and add to 2 of the pieces, and then I'll turn it around and I'll glue the bottom next. I didn't want to do all of them at once because as you can see, like they were not exactly the same, so I had to like kind of move them and be sure that they were glued exactly where I wanted them to be. And then once that is glued, now I'm gonna take 3 of these wooden cubes, and I'm gonna glue 3 on each corner. Just be sure that all of them kind of measure the same, and then you're good to go. I'm using some hot glue, but then again, you could use wood glue or a stronger glue. Hot glue works best for me, so that's what I'm gonna do. So once I glue all of the little tiny pieces, I'm gonna do the rest off camera because I don't want to put you through watching me do the exact same thing on the other 3 corners, so that's why. But then that is all for this part. Now is the time to use this little box. Now Dollar Tree came back with these cute little boxes. There's 3 sizes. This is the smallest one out of all of them, and I'm removing the front of this, and of course those holes are going to be in there. If they bother you, then feel free to send them down, or if it bothers you, then if you have an extra piece of wood laying around, then you could definitely use that. But I decided to go with this because I just didn't want to do the extra work. But anyway, so once I figure where I need this to go, I'm gonna add some hot glue, and we're going to be gluing this to the very top of our soon to be lantern, which is already, you know, looking like a lantern. So here it is, our box is glued down and looking good. Now for the next step, you're free to use a stain. I just decided to add some water and some, I guess, water down some paint. So I added some of that brown color and then some black, and I created my own stain. Now if you have a stain that looks close to it, then feel free to use it, or if you want to stain it a whole different color, then that's also an option, or paint it a whole different color, that's also an option. But I'm trying to dupe this, so I just added this brown and black color, and I just mixed it, and I think it looks similar to the one from Kirkland, so that's what I decided to use. And as you can see, I do end up adding a little bit more to make it a little bit more darker, but then I was happy with it. And then I just used this what are these called, like sponge brushes, foam brushes, I guess, foam brushes from Dollar Tree, and that's what I use to paint my my box, or I guess stain my box. And just make sure that you get every single little space, because otherwise your wood is going to be a different color, and the if you don't stain it all completely, you know. And then at the top, I will say that I was nervous about the box I glued to the top because it was a different color from the rest. But then at the end, I guess it ended up working out, and I was really happy how this looked. Now we're gonna let it dry, and once it's dried, I am going to start adding my little pearls to the edges of this lantern. And I used 3 strips of these on each of the sides, and I do at the end of this side, you do have, or at least I had to remove 1 little pearl. But if you make sure that you know, fit them there right, maybe you don't have to remove it, but you know, just, I guess, FYI. But yeah, so at the end, here it is. I just kind of trim 1 of the little pearls, and it was almost perfect. And then as you can see, here is 2 of the sides done, and it's looking great. Now for the next step, I decided to add some white paint. The lantern from Kirkland does have like a white strip on there together with the beads, so I decided to go ahead and add it. I will not lie, I was a little nervous that this was gonna go south, but I was really happy how this turned out. And then here, I'm not trying to be perfect with it because this is distressed with white anyway, so I was just having fun and just making sure that I cover the beads in that part, but then the rest I was okay with. And then the next step is to just stain our whole lantern, and that's what I did. So I grabbed a Dollar Tree brush and some white paint. The paint I'm using is from Apple Barrel. But yeah, so I just started staining my lantern, and just have fun. Again, I mentioned earlier, you could paint this a whole different color, but you know, this is a Kirkland's video, so that's why I'm doing as close as I can, just to show you that we can make things that are nice out of cheaper products, and they could be as amazing, if not better. But yeah, so I love doing all kinds of crafts, and I will say that dupes are one of my favorites. I don't know why, I guess I like showing myself that I can make nice things too. But let me know if you're interested in dupes, which most of my dupe videos are really successful here on my channel. So if you have any other stores in mind, let me know and I'll be more than happy to look at the store and see what I can make for you. But yeah, now for the next and almost last step, I am taking some twine and I am using some vinyl from Dollar Tree in the color black to just wrap around the ends of this twine. And I go and do the first one, and then I kind of measure to see how long I need this to be for the hanger. And then I cut it off, and then I just add the vinyl to the end of it, and that completes technically this project. Now if you wanted it to make it a little bit more sturdy, and if you want to be able to actually hold your lantern, then you can buy these hooks. And I don't know if Dollar Tree has them, but I know you can find them at like Walmart and stuff. So you can actually screw them on there and then, you know, be able to actually carry it around if you wanted to. But yeah, I will show you here the hoops, not the hoops, I'm sorry, the hooks that I'm talking about. These metal ones, there's like also some smaller ones that you could use. Just screw them on there and find a way to be able to move it around. And that is technically all for this project. And here is the Kirkland's lantern. It's $39.99. Now let's take a look at the one I DIY'd. I love how this lantern turned out. And this one I spent probably like about $12 to DIY it. You might have some of this stuff, but yeah, overall I spent about $12 to make it, and I love how this turned out. One of my favorites for sure. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. For this dupe, I will be using the bigger bamboo ring in this package, as well as a wooden dowel. I'm also going to be using this metal container, and I need something bigger than that. At first I was going to use this lid, but you'll see what happens here in a little bit. Now I'm also going to need some black paint and some gold paint. Now first things first, I am going to take the bamboo ring, the wooden dowel, and the little metal container, and those are going to be spray paint with this gold color. If you're interested in what color exactly I used, look for the information in my description box. Now that that is done, I'm going to take this black spray paint. I end up using this instead, and I am going to spray paint my lid. Once my golden ring is dried, I will take my drill and we'll be drilling a hole right here to be able to fit our wooden dowel in there. As you can see, I did it off camera. Now I'm going to twist my wooden dowel until it fits in there. And as you can see, it kind of opened up the ring. I didn't want to make the hole bigger because I was scared of this ring breaking in two. So I decided to not mess with it and leave it like that. Now, as you can see, I show you some E6000, which you could definitely use to glue the metal piece on there. But I decided to just use hot glue to fill in the spaces in between the what's it called, the wooden dowel, just to, you know, cover it up so it doesn't look that weird. And then I'm gonna use some hot glue to glue my metal piece in there. This is going to be our candle holder. And there you have it. Now I end up switching to this candle lid because the other one broke, and I didn't realize that it was like a glass thing that it had in the center. So when I tried to drill, it broke. So I had to switch to this, which thank God it was already black, so I didn't have to wait for this to dry. But it is a candle holder cover, not a candle holder, a candle cover or a candle lid, and that's what I end up using. And then as you can see, I drilled a hole, and now I'm just going to hot glue the wooden dowel into this. This was a little shorter, so I kind of had to add a lot of glue to be able to hold it in place. But that is all for this project. I hope you like it. Now let's take a look at Kirkland's Decor piece, and this one was $51.99 for a 2-piece. And here is my dupe. I didn't have to spend any money because all of these products I already had them. But if you have to buy stuff, then you probably spend like $8 max, or maybe 10 if you have some of this stuff. But yeah, so I am really happy how it turned out. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. For this project, I'm going to be using this wooden piece I already had on hand, but you can also recreate it using these wooden signs from Dollar Tree. It's about 7 of these, but you can definitely create it with only 4 of them. And you need some white paint. I will be using spray paint, and then I just use my Cricut machine to cut the wording for this, but you could definitely recreate this if you have pretty handwriting or if you have stickers. Okay, first things first, I'm taking my wooden piece and I will be spray painting this completely. Now I wish this was not black at the bottom, but it is what it is. I'm recycling this piece and we're gonna go with it, okay? And then once I had to give it a couple of coats because it is black paint, but you can also, you know, use any paint you have on hand and you'll be good to go. Okay, now I'm using the wooden plank that I showed you to create this shiplap. I decided to do it with pencil at first because I wanted to see what the space is in between each of them, so I decided to do with a pencil. And then once I was happy with how it was looking, I went back in there with some Sharpie and I just marked the lines that were already there. And the Sharpie made them a little bit more stronger and more noticeable. But yeah, so once that is done, it's time to add the wording onto our sign. And as you can see, I laid everything down how I want this to go, and then I'm just going to start placing them on there. Now again, you can definitely use stickers, or if you have pretty handwriting, you can definitely do that. That is not my case. My handwriting is not pretty at all, so I had to rely on my Cricut machine a lot. But yeah, you can definitely do that. And yeah, I just started placing my words on it. I did exactly what the Kirkland sign said. So yeah, I really love this project. I think that it was really easy to recreate. And for me, all I had to do was buy vinyl, which this vinyl is from Dollar Tree. I've been using it. It works, but it definitely tries to stick to the transfer paper, but you know, it does the job. I just have to be really careful. But yeah, I really like using it, and it's only $1.25 when if you buy it from like the Cricut brand, it's a little bit more expensive. And I usually buy my vinyl from Hobby Lobby because they have this brand, I think it's the paper brand, and I really like their vinyl. It works, it does the job. And yeah, I definitely try to look for cheaper vinyl because I'm not trying to spend a lot of money on this vinyl. But yeah, as you can see, I'm almost done adding all the wording onto it. And as you can see, for the word things, I messed up the letter N, so I had to go back in there with a Sharpie and kind of just, you know, rewrite it on there, or write it on there, because I wasn't going to just go and print the letter N because I was lazy. So I did that. But that is all for this project. It was a super easy project. Now let's take a look at Kirkland's. Kirkland's is $33.74, and here is mine. I think it turned out really good for, you know, making it with items I already had at home. And I'm really happy how all of these projects turned out. Be sure to let me know in the comments down below which one was your favorite dupe in this video. Don't forget to subscribe, give my video a thumbs up, share with a friend, and I will see you on my next DIY. Bye!